Hello, today I'll be talking about adding and subtracting rational expressions. Now this is the same thing as when you're adding and subtracting fractions, and that's all a rational number is a fraction. Or it can be made into a fraction. So the first thing you want to find whenever you're adding and subtracting rationals is the common denominator. So that's what we're going to do here. Sometimes it's hard to see. Say, for example 1, we have 4s squared t and 2st cubed. Now you can simplify these first, so that is a way of doing it, but I'm going to show you how to find a common denominator for these. So first you can look at your numbers. You'll have 4 and 2. So 2 goes into 4. So you know 4 is the common denominator. So all you would have to do is multiply this times 2. And now you have a common denominator for just the numbers. Now we look at the s's. We know s times another s gives us s squared. So we can multiply this one by 2s. And then here we have t and t cubed. So to get the whole common denominator, you're going to have t cubed, because t goes into t cubed. So we need to multiply this by t squared. And then whatever you do to the bottom, you have to do to the top. So we're going to go ahead and multiply 2s here and t squared here. So we simplify 3s times t squared. Can't do much with that, so we have 3s t squared over our common denominator, which is just 4s squared t times t squared is t cubed. Sign doesn't change. 5t squared times 2s is going to be 5 times 2 is 10 st squared over our common denominator remains the same, 4s squared t to the third. Now, since we have a common denominator, you could add the tops. We have 3st squared plus 10st squared, and they happen to be like terms, so we can combine them. So we get 13, because we're just adding st squared over our common denominator does not change, 4s squared t cubed. And then the last step, you see if you could simplify anything else. So here we have 1s up top, 2s's on the bottom, so we can cancel out a single s. That's going to become s to the first on the bottom, and the s on the top is going to cancel out. We have 2 t's up here and 3 down here. 3 minus 2 is 1, so we can take away 2 t's from both top and bottom, and we'll have 1 left. So finally, our answer is 13 over 4. Can't reduce those. You're left with nothing else but the 13 on the top. 4st on the bottom. So that would be it for that one. So number 1 came out to 13 over 4st. Second one. Here we have y minus 4 over y squared minus 25 minus 9 minus 2y over 25 minus y squared. Now we see we almost have a common denominator. Y squared minus 25, 25 minus y squared. But those aren't exactly the same. They're opposites. And to make opposites the same, all you have to do is flip it and change the sign. So that's what we're going to do here. First step. Keep everything else the same, y minus 4 over y squared minus 25. If you flip these and change the sign, that's going to become a plus 9 minus 2y over y squared minus 25. Then we can add like terms. On the top, we have y plus negative 2y. That's going to give us negative y. Then we have negative 4 plus 9 is negative 5, or positive 5, over y squared minus 25, our common denominator. But we're not quite done here, because we know we can factor y squared minus 25. Always factor if you can. This would turn into y plus 5, y minus 5, just from the difference of squares formula. So we're not quite done with this one. We equals negative y plus 5 over y plus 5, y minus 5. Now we see again, this looks similar to one of these. So we could probably cancel something out. If we factor out a negative out of this, if we take away a negative from both, it's going to become y minus 5 over y plus 5, y minus 5. So those are going to cancel. And don't forget, if you cancel everything in the top, it comes a 1. So for this, the final answer becomes negative 1 over y plus 5. Okay. Another one. First thing, we need a common denominator. Now, since we don't know what a is, this is going to be kind of hard. Say a was 0. We'd have negative 4 and 3. Two completely different numbers. So the best thing to do, whenever you're trying to find a common denominator for something like this, is to just multiply each one with the other. We have an a minus 4, common denominator. Would be a minus 4 times a plus 3. So that's what we're going to have to do. We're going to have to add an a plus 3 here. And if you do it to the bottom, you have to do it to the top. So a plus 3 to the top. And it's always good to put everything in parentheses. Here we need an a minus 4. So a minus 4, top and bottom. So just remember, whenever you're doing this, multiply them with each other, and that'll give you a common denominator. And you can almost consider a cross multiplying. A plus 3 is going to go up top with here, and on the bottom, a minus 4 is going to go over here. So we continue on. I'm going to shorthand this a little bit, so I'm going to FOIL. We FOIL a plus 3 times a plus 2. That gives us a squared plus 5a plus 6 over our common denominator, a plus 3a minus 4. Don't FOIL the bottoms. Never FOIL the bottoms because you might be able to cancel something in the end. Minus a minus 2 times a minus 4. The top FOILs into a squared minus 6a plus 6. There is a trick to FOILing. That's why I'm doing it so fast. A plus 3 times a minus 4 on the bottom. Same common denominator we had before. And remember, you don't touch the common denominators when you're combining the tops. So now all we're doing is we're just adding like terms in the top. This negative is going to distribute to all of those. So don't forget about that. If you have a negative or a number out here, it distributes. Same with the positive, but positive doesn't change things. So we have a squared minus a squared. Those are going to end up canceling. And then we have 5a minus negative, means plus, 5a plus 6a is going to be 11a. And we have 6 minus 6. Okay, well that's 0. So we just have 11a over our common denominator, a plus 3, a minus 4. So that would be that one. Alright, and two more examples. So remember, the first thing we want to do is factor everything we can and then find our common denominator. So here, for our first one, we have 4 over x plus 1 plus x plus 2 over x squared minus 1, which is factorable, and minus 3 over x minus 1. So we know we can factor this. Difference of squares. Square root of 1 is 1, so we get x plus 1, x minus 1. And we see this is x plus 1, this is x plus 1, x minus 1. this is x minus 1. If we multiply these two, we get this. So this is our common denominator. So all we have to do is add an x minus 1 to here. Do it on the bottom, you gotta do it on the top. And we need an x plus 1 here. And that'll give us common denominators everywhere. So first we simplify that. So that gives us, we have to distribute our 4. 4 times x is 4x. Minus 4 times 1 is 4. And that's over our common denominator, x plus 1, x minus 1. Plus, this one doesn't change, x plus 2. Write the common denominator in your broken up form, x plus 1, x minus 1. Minus distributing. 3 times x is 3x, plus 3 times 1 is 3. So 3x plus 3 over, once again, the common denominator, x plus 1, x minus 1. So, almost done. Now we have to add like terms, and remember, since there's minus here, we have to distribute the minus. Minus is going to go to both of those. So, equals. Let's just make it one big fraction and at the same time distribute that negative. So we have 4x minus 4 plus x plus 2 minus 3x. And remember, the minus is going to both. If this was negative, it would become positive, but it's not. Over x plus 1, x minus 1. And then we should get our final answer after we add like terms on the top. We have 4x plus x plus minus 3x. That's 5x minus 3x is 2x. And then we have negative 4 plus 2 is negative 2 minus 3. Negative 2 minus 3 is negative 5. 2x minus 5 over our common denominator does not change. X plus 1, x minus 1. So that'll be that one. Very similar here. First we factor everything. Then we see what the common denominator is. So we look at these. How can we factor them? I always use the x method. Since there's no number in front of the x squared, we're not going to have to use factor by grouping or the AC method. We just do it the regular way. We need two things that multiply to equal the last. We need two things that multiply to equal 8 that add up to negative 6. Well, 4 times 2 is 8. And if you make them both negative, they add up to negative 6. So these are our factors for this one. This becomes x minus 4, x minus 2. This one, we have negative 12. And two things that multiply equal that add up to negative 1. 3 times 4 is 12. But the 4 has to be negative because it's 3 minus 4, not 4 minus 3, to give us negative 1. So that's positive. So this one factors into x plus 3, x minus 4. Now remember, it's a combination of the two that gives us the common denominator. So here we both have an x minus 4 in both of them. So this one is going to need an x plus 3. We need an x plus 3 here. Do it to the bottom, you got to do it to the top. We will be distributing the 5x. And here, we need an x minus 2. And then we can keep going. So equals 5x times x is 5x squared. And then 5x times 3 is 15x, so plus 15x over our common denominator. And I'm going to write it kind of small. X plus 3, x minus 4, x minus 2. X plus 3, x minus 4, x minus 2. Plus, minus 3x times x is 3x squared. Minus 3x times 2. 3x times 2 is negative 6x. Over common denominator, x plus 3, x minus 4, x minus 2. Does not change. And we just add like terms where we can. 5x squared minus 3x squared is 2x squared. 15x minus negative 6x means, minus negative means plus, because remember you're minusing all of this. This is going to both. So we have 15x plus 6x is 21x. Over our common denominator, x plus 3, x minus 4, does not change, x minus 2. And you can factor the top, but nothing will cancel out, so you don't really have to. That'll be it.